this right here, you bunch of prima donna ballerina mother.
Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Today is Monday, July 7th, and right now we are talking with SBR contributor Ross Benjamin, and we're going to take a look at three of the premier pitching matchups coming up this week in baseball. Ross Benjamin, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Peter.
All right, Ross, we got three pitching matchups. Interested to hear what you have to say about them. You know, a lot of times we see this in baseball where it's like you can make a great case for betting on both sides. You're afraid to bet against either side. First game we're going to discuss here is the Wednesday game, Wednesday afternoon, the Dodgers at Detroit. And this is Greinke and Scherzer, right? So huge pitching matchup here. I'm assuming that this is going to be basically a wash in terms of starting pitching. Both these guys, Greinke and Scherzer, can get hit once in a while, but usually they're given, 7 or 8 innings with 1 or 2 earned runs. And, Scherzer's had 3 awesome starts in a row, absolutely phenomenal. So I'm not exactly sure which way I'd go here. Detroit's probably going to be a small favorite, I guess around -115, -120. What do you like here, Ross?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at 2 pitchers that are in excellent form right now. Zach Greinke is coming off 2 very good starts in which he's posted a 1.208 ERA in those outings. And then, as you alluded to, Max Scherzer is in superb form off his last 3 starts. We, remind you that Scherzer was the 2013 American League Cy Young winner, as well as he's 7-1 in his team starts at home. That's 7-1 versus the money line at home this season. If I give a slight lean here, Peter, I'm going to give Max Scherzer the slightest of leans just for the fact that he's pitching at home.
You know what? I'm thinking that a lot of times when we see pitching matchups like these, we see very low totals and the game winds up going easily over. I'm thinking the total on this one is probably going to be 7, so I'd lay off. But if we get like a 6.5 on this one, what about the over?
I don't think you'll see a 6.5 here, although these 2 pitchers, the way they're pitching right now, might warrant it. But yeah, if it goes down to 6.5, I'd take a good look at the over. I mean, you look at these 2 bullpens. The Tigers' bullpen has been their major flaw right now. So if you think that Scherzer's not going to give you at least 7 innings, the over might be a good lean.
Okay, and then the next game we're going to discuss, Thursday afternoon game, White Sox at Boston, and this is Quintana against John Lester. And John Lester has been absolutely great recently. 6 of his last 7 starts have been great. He did have 1 dud against Detroit, but the other 7 starts were all awesome starts, and Boston did win all of those games. Now, Boston's definitely going to be a big favorite here. How big of a favorite? Probably, -160. Would not be surprised at all if it wound up being like 180, 185, maybe significantly higher than that. But, if Lester has a 6 and 7 chance of winning this game, then that has value anyway. His walks are way down. His homers are way down. Quintana's been great as well, though. He does appear to be a notch below Lester, though. Do we like Boston here anyway, even if they're a huge favorite, -180?
Not as much as you might think. I think that Quintana is one of the most underrated pitchers in the American League, especially right now. You look at his last 3 starts, excellent form, Peter, a 0.42 ERA in his last 3 starts. Now, as far as the whole body of work goes, absolutely Lester is the better pitcher and been more consistent all season. But as they stand right now, we're looking at 2 red-hot pitchers right now, and 2 pitchers that do not allow the long ball. Quintana's only allowed 6 home runs all season long, Peter. One of the best home run to inning pitch ratios in all of baseball. I like this one to play a little bit on the low side.
Yeah, Boston's been a strong under-trender at home, which is a little bit of a surprise. But, the total on this game, it might be 7.5, it might be 7, right?
Yeah, I would think it'd be more towards 7.5 based on both bullpen. Well, Boston's bullpen's pretty strong. The White Sox bullpen leaves a lot to be desired. They're going to have to get a lot of innings out of Quintana to stay in this game, especially having to face Lester. But you're looking at a Boston team that's just 23rd in the league in runs per game, and they've also hit just 66 home runs all season. Who would have thought that the Red Sox, of all teams, would be that low in home runs at this point of the season?
So would you be leaning towards betting the under here?
Well, look, at 7.5, if that's where the books are, they don't give money away. Right. That total will be there and there'll be a good reason for it. And again, as you alluded to, Lester's been phenomenal in his last 5 starts. In Quintana, you look at his last 3 starts, he's been virtually untouchable. So, again, I wouldn't hesitate to use the under here, no.
All right, and then talk about potential unders and low posted totals. The next one we're going to discuss is the Friday night game, Oakland at Seattle, and this is Samardzija and Felix Hernandez. And this one, where's the total on this game going to open? I'm going to guess that the books are going to open it at 5.5. This could get bet down to 5, right? Felix Hernandez has been absolutely awesome. Out of his last 10 games, he hasn't given up more than 2 runs in any of those games. Seattle's also won 8 of those 10 games. And Samardzija, he just came over. He made his first start with Oakland, and it was a great start. I have a feeling that Samardzija is going to have a bunch of, a rough stretch in the future for Oakland. Is that going to come here, though, in a big, pitcher-friendly park? I'm not exactly sure. I'm guessing that probably he has another strong start. What'll lines be? I'm thinking Seattle will probably be just a very small favorite at -120. At that line, I probably would lean towards Seattle. And the total, who knows? I'm predicting it opens at 5.5. What's your take on this game, Ross?
Well, if it opens at 5.5, Peter, I'm going to consider you the best consultant that I've ever had in my life. I would think somewhere in 6.5.
Okay.
5.5, maybe bet down to 5.5 eventually, but it's not going to open at 5.5, in my opinion.
Okay.
With all respect. Samardzija comes off, like you just said, an absolutely phenomenal debut with Oakland, allowing just 1 earned run on 4 hits and 7 innings of work on Sunday. This is a guy that when he was with the Chicago Cubs, you look at his record, Peter, he was 3-13 versus the money line with the Cubs. But guess what? This guy was only getting 2.4 runs per game of run support with Chicago. He's pitched very well all season long. And Felix Hernandez, he's having a Cy Young type of year. You know what? When it comes down to it, the Mariners have not seen Samardzija, while Oakland has seen Felix Hernandez on 3 separate occasions this season. Just for that sake alone, Peter, I'm going to give the slightest of leans toward an Oakland A's team that really has been proficient in working pitchers this year. Great on base percentage, lead the league in walks. Great OPS. I like Oakland just a little bit here in this spot.
All right, yeah. Well, Oakland has been, I think they're the second most profitable team in all of baseball on the year. So betting on Oakland is never a bad thing to do this year. But Seattle has also been the 3rd most profitable team in baseball. But all right, so I'm thinking Seattle might be a small favorite here. So in that case, if Seattle's like -115, -120, you would lean towards Oakland as a small underdog.
A small lean I would have, Peter. It's very tough to go against Felix Hernandez the way he's pitching right now. But, Samardzija as well. I just think that you look at his win-loss record, and it doesn't tell the whole story. And I think he's going to be revitalized in Oakland. And based on his opening start on Sunday, we'll see. I think that'll come to fruition. I like Oakland just a little bit in this spot.
All right, Ross Benjamin, thanks so much for your thoughts on these upcoming marquee pitching matchups.